And bottom of the grind till we shine. Then we do what we do. From the 1st to the 15th, we all right. We want the fiends loyal, so we gotta treat them right. If they spend 50, give them something extra. Don't be greedy, cause they coming right back to bless you. My lecture tested the coat, he told me it was good. So I ain't taking no shots and losses since that understood. First we get the money, then respect comes with the territory. We don't want attention, and motherfuck the fame and glory. I got something for the jackers, so don't you worry. You can leave late, but be on the block early. Bag full of bars and a mouth full of crack. Got the junkies running track, put some laws on my back. I'm a dope man, yeah. I'm a dope man, yeah. Got a knot in my pocket where at least a pound. So many guns in the cut, I could shoot up the whole town. I'm a dope man, yeah. I'm a dope man, yeah. From a slab to a half, from a quarter to a key. Name another hustler who grind like me. I've been in it for a minute, cause I got a lot of stamina. You fucking with a pro. I'm a legend, not an amateur. Doing what I do, you gotta have a little discipline. Like a diabetes patient, gotta have the insulin. I am magnificent, I'ma give you what you want. Spit that shit these niggas don't. T the general on the phone. Entrepreneur slash CEO slash rapper slash player. And I'ma die fucking trapper. 6 and be gangsta. UPT soldier. I rep the milk, Calio and the Magnolia. I thought I told ya. I'm a real beast. And I won't stop until it's time for me to rest in peace. Got a bag full of bars and a mouth full of crack. Got the junkie running track. Put some laws on my back. I'm a dope man, yeah. I'm a dope man, yeah. Got a knot in my pocket where at least a pound. So many guns in the cut, I could shoot up the whole town. I'm a dope man, yeah. I'm a dope man, yeah.
Fake cheerleading, bitch. You want a nigga like me to beware, huh? I'ma show you some sports right now. You bitch, you. Take the braids out his head, yellow. I'm a dragger from the river, dump his body and chuck y'all, leaving a note around his neck, reading badass yellow boy. Oh, he wants some. Ain't that cool, y'all? Mystikal, Mystikal. From the 3 and I don't give a fuck. And I know you thought I wouldn't be back, but you can't keep me down. Don't forget about the youth and the cash money comes. I'm from the 3 and I don't give a fuck. For the record, once again, it's the fella with the chuck. I'm back up on the scene with a tool like the Viper. It is so much more, I think I'm straighter than a sniper. Mystikal, your bitch, are you ready for the drama? Show you who is people who don't run, I'll kill mama. If I catch you with your draw down, I'ma do ya. Once upon a time, I up the roof, give me the cruiser. Now I'm a drag him from the river, dump his body and chuck y'all, leaving a note around his neck, reading badass yellow boy. Oh, he wants some. Ain't that cold, y'all? Mystikal, Mystikal. Yeah, from the 3 and I don't give a fuck. And I know you thought I would be back, but you can't keep me down. Don't forget about the youth and the third wall. I'm a diggity jack of all trade, don't make me crazy. Your fucking head, I'm a queen, don't need none king, I'm mini learn, mini trade. I'm coming to get you round up and I'm ready to unwrap your braids, gay blade. Now what you want to do, my nuts, you can't cheat because you told you wanted to battle. So time I you can answer, you ain't about no B1 doctor show. Don't make me bust your rumble, right to left to uppercut, the roundhouse, side step, bolo. Let go of my shirt, your hoe, bloods up on my polo. I'm a dragon from the river, dump his body and chuck y'all, leaving a note around his neck, reading badass yellow boy. Oh, he wants some. Ain't that cold, y'all? Mystikal, Mystikal. From the 3 and I don't give a fuck. And I know you thought I would be back, but you can't keep me down. Don't forget about the youth and the cash money clown. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, bitch. Stop playing with me. I'm like the BGs, I'm gas toting. But this time it's a bulldog barrel smoking. I hope to catch you, chop you down, tear your ass apart. Crash or the swine touch down your brains on the ground. I got the gas, spell it backwards. That's what I do up on that ass, your bitch. I'm not an actor. I'm coming dumping from the big don't wanna be. I want you too many times, so watch the bloody tragedy. I got the dinos to the bowl, sprinkle up the gold. I spin the bin in the turtleneck polo, cause I don't care. Look what you saying about me, well, I'm tired of telling you that I'm a donkey nigga. Stop playing, I'm a dragon from the river, dump his body and Chuck y'all, leaving a load around his neck. He's a badass yellow boy. Oh, he wants some. Ain't that cold, y'all? Mystikal, Mystikal. From the 3 and I don't give a fuck. And I know you thought I would be back, but you can't keep me down. Don't forget about the youth and the third wall. Up in the front room, in that whirl around the brown table. Are you able, capable? All of a sudden, I had to pop 'em. Like Tyler Barnes, respect is what I need. Hollow tips in the clip just to make your ass bleed. It's time to drop this pussy with the braids off. See, I'ma dump his body and Chuck y'all U.N.L.V. I've come to be the cheerleader, not to fuck with me. I told you to keep my fucking name out your fucking mouth. You didn't do it, now it's time to take your ass out. I'm a dragger from the river, dump his body and Chuck y'all, leave it around his neck. We the badass yellow boy. Oh, he wants some. Now ain't that cold, y'all? Mystikal. I'm from the 3 and I don't give a fuck. And I know you thought I would be back, but you can't keep me down. Don't forget about the youth and the cash money. I get slow down and dirty with the 30-30 because I'm in your neighborhood, plus I know it's dirty. I'm in that truck, lost about delivering bad luck. As I spend up in with seed, it's too late to duck. I'm like Jim Harbaugh, puffing on a hot Marlboro. I'm strictly with that asshole and coming down your fall. Why did I pass what I eat, moan and leave you see? I caught the enemy slipping, getting groceries. I wait behind the mailbox like an old drunkard. As all she bunker, comfortable, you bitch you see. I walk by, I fight by, I drive by too. I got to hang out 45 in the AB9 too. I'm a dragon from the river, dump his body and Chuck y'all, leaving a load around his neck. He's a badass yellow boy. Oh, he wants some. Now ain't that cold? Use a hoe, Mystikal. See, I'm from the 3 and I don't give a fuck. And I know you thought I wouldn't be back, but you can't keep me down. Don't forget about the youth and the cash money clown. Stop playing with me. I know you thought I wouldn't be back, but you can't keep me down. Don't forget about the youth and the cash money clown. Stop playing with me. Cause I know you thought I wouldn't be back, but you can't keep me down. Don't forget about the youth and the cash money clown. Oh, he wants some. Ain't that cold? Use a hoe. Mystikal. I'm from the 3 and I don't give a fuck. I know you thought I wouldn't be back, but you can't keep me down. Don't forget about the youth and the cash money clown. That bitch from the river, you see. Straight fuck over, dog ass. Big bitch.
After a week of silence, we are back at Off the Cuff Radio. I am your host of the evening, King Eric the Great, a.k.a. King Daffy Joe, episode 214, sponsored by Da Vinci Clothing and newly sponsored by Boo Boy Entertainment. We at Off the Cuff Radio. We got my man T-Max in the building.
What it do, OTC, and we still staying G. Happy holidays to all our listeners all over the world. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. King, I mean, it's been a week. We've been MIA, but we back on the set, man. So, I mean, tell our audience about who we got tonight.
And we had to play 3 of his records previously. The newest record that we played, titled Who That Life, which is giving an anthem to the New Orleans Saints that's kicking butt out there. Then we played his other record, Dope Man, and of course we had to end it with the classic Drag 'Em Through the River. Everybody know about that by now. But nevertheless, tonight's guest, we have one of the most original members of the Cash Money Clique, possibly one of the hardest groups, and not only to put it down for the U.N.L.V, but also in hip-hop in the 90s. Their hit, Drag 'Em Through the River, remains as one of the biggest records to explode from the regional scene and remains as a Dirty South classic to this day. This record's so hot that the nigga Mystikal even had to bow down and like it his damn self. So here to chop it up with us from the origins, the history, the future, and celebrate the New Orleans Saints kicking butt and taking names, we have Little Yah from U.N.L.V in the building right now.
What's out? It's your boy
Little
Yah,
man?
a.k.a.
What's going
Mr.
on,
Yohoy,
man?
you dig? What's good, fellas?
Definitely, man.
We had
Great
to set up that proper intro for you, dog.
Oh, man, I
Yeah,
loved
man.
it, dog. I loved it. That bitch made me shiver, you heard me?
Man, look, you in terms of what, King so eloquently expressed, there are a lot of groups that come from New Orleans, that have pretty much, in terms of hip hop, that have done, that have basically etched y'all mark, coming from the 504. And
right.
I mean, of course, where there's No Limit, there's Cash Money, there's Soldier Slim, there's Currency, Mr. Marcello. For y'all who don't know, they are brothers as well.
Right.
Mr. Magic, rest in peace.
Oh yeah.
And then, but this is where it all started. U.N.L.V, who were the rebels of the uptown niggas living violently, man. It is an honor and a privilege for you to be here with us, man.
Appreciate y'all having me, man.
Definitely. So,
yes,
in terms of, yeah, man. So in terms of what New Orleans is known for, in terms of good food, Mardi Gras and good times, and also a lot of hood shit, which I think y'all music encapsulated at the most raw, gritty, and aggressive essence. Tell us about your life growing up there.
Well, first of all, we try to paint a picture of our life with our music. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And everything we rap about is like something we done seen, something we done went through, and just everyday life in the hood coming up. You feel me? So, I mean, coming up in New Orleans, it was like grimy, bro, real grimy. We stayed in the hood, but we was like, my parents was like more fortunate than a lot of other parents on the block. A lot of other kids on the block parents, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, I mean, I chose to do the things that I did, and I was blessed to survive the real life, you dig? The best I can put it, bro.
Well, definitely in terms of what it's like down in New Orleans, that's part of the Gulf Coast, and when you look at all the, and when y'all really came on in terms of doing what y'all doing and started making noise, that's going from Texas to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, so y'all definitely had that southern region on lock. And when you talk about the music in terms of what it represented, a lot of people heard the names before in terms of where Master P would talk about Calio projects,
right?
The CP3. Mm-hmm. You had Desire. You had and help me and if I fumble this word, please correct me on how I pronounced it. Melphamine. Is that how it's pronounced?
The Melphamine. You see where I'm from?
Melphamine.
It's the third wall, and the third wall consists of three major projects, which is the Magnolia, Melphamine, and the Calio project.
Okay.
And we like from 6 and Baron. We like right in the middle of all those projects in the third wall. The Calio is what Master P represents.
Yeah.
Baby lived in the 13 wall, which is The Baby lived in the 13 wall, which was VL, and he just used to like really run with people in the Magnolia. That's why he started claiming the Magnolia. But we from the third wall, where the Magnolia is really at. Us, Juvenile, Turk, Mac, the great Magnolia Slim, Soldier Slim. You dig?
Rest in
All
peace
us,
to
we
legend,
from the
yes.
third wall. You know.
Now,
And then the
go
third
ahead,
wall,
go
those
ahead, go ahead.
projects are so close. You would think, like, you know, how could you be beefing with somebody that lived that close to you? You know, but I
Right.
mean, the Mag Callio never really got along. That's the three projects I named until U.N.L.V. created a song called Mag Callio. You know, after that song came out, I mean, it looked like the whole third wall united, bro. You dig? That song really done that.
That's what it is. Now, tell us about in terms of, because obviously with Master P, you know, Slim, you know, Birdman, all of those guys, you know, you obviously all knew each other before y'all got into music. So what was it like coming up with those guys, and did you see any possibility of them doing anything musical growing up, or was that something that it just kind of happened?
Actually, my sister went to school with Baby. I didn't know Baby or Slim.
Okay.
I just remember.
Okay.
I remember a tall guy marching for a school called Foshi playing the saxophone, which was Slim. I never knew him, but I remember seeing him. And I remember a dude coming around my house for my sister's friend on an MB5 motorbike, and that was Baby back in the day. I didn't know him then.
Gotcha.
You know, but I mean, a lot of other cats we knew coming up. You know, like Juvie.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know Turk. I mean, you know, but we knew Juvie, we knew Hitman, we knew Jimmy, we knew them coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So what made you, like, inspire you to also want to start rapping?
Oh man, I was always musically inclined, and I mean, I knew my calling was to go to play music some kind of way, but I didn't know I enjoyed rapping until like the 12th grade. I mean, it's the 7th grade actually.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my little sister in Tech, which was MC Food, then we started a group called the Sport MCs. You know, and we used to win talent shows. That I started liking rapping then. But then my dreams got shattered. In the 8th grade, we won the talent show for the radio station, and we won a contract to go to New York to record and shit, and that didn't happen. So I was like, man, this rapping shit ain't real, you dig? So I didn't pick the mic back up to the 12th grade. You know, start sneaking in clubs and shit then. 17 years old, I'm sneaking in clubs and ballrooms and holding the walls, running that shit on the mic, you dig? Grabbing it, you dig? Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what it really inspired me.
Then you came back around and you picked up, you got your confidence back and you picked it up. And what made you come up with the name Lil Ya?
Well, my name is Yafet. And I was like, man, you know, my name ain't Ya. I've been Ya since '93. I had 2 names before that, Polo P and the Man. I changed that shit. You know, got Time Group. But you know, now I'm still there. Ya. I never changed that one.
Well, definitely. I mean, so in terms of what New Orleans is known for with the bounce, you know, we all know about, you know, Master P, who, you know, in '95 had the breakthrough with About It, you know, with No Limit. But, you know, of course, that record had a bit of a, you know, East Bay influence, obviously because of his time he spent in Richmond, California. But I know the history of it goes way deeper in terms of the hip-hop that came out of there. Please tell us about some of the artists, you know, that may have not made it on the radar, you know, in addition, you know, to yourselves who actually were laying the foundation down for, you know, New Orleans hip-hop.
Well, I know y'all probably heard of Everlasting Hitman. I mentioned him before. He was one of the forefathers in bounce music. You know, he was one of the ones that really started what you call the real bounce. You know,
right.
Him, DJ Jimmy. You know, who else? I can name some cats like DH the Great. That was my homie. He really didn't get what he deserved, but he was a great artist, and then he was my artist. Who else I can think of? Trey 8. Well, Trey 8 ended up signing with Master P, but man, Trey 8 was a real talented cat. You know, Jackal, dude out the Magnolia Project, we let him feature on one of our albums when we was with Cash Money. And I think he was murdered probably 3 years ago, man. That's the only cat I can really think of. Excuse us, cold, man. This weather's so funny out here. Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Now, what was it like actually seeing the nascent beginnings in terms of what the music was beginning to come out there? And did you really know that ultimately that your area would become one of the hotbeds in terms of hip hop as it began to progress? Or was it something for a lot of times that it was at first, did y'all just consider it, was it just a regional sound that represented y'all?
Right, it was a regional sound, and nobody never thought it would, be this far, especially once Drake done took it. But even before then, nobody didn't think our culture, would be there. We didn't really think of that. That's why we done something totally different. We invented gangster bounce. If you listen to our music, we not doing the same bounce that everybody used. Our formula was to have a bounce beat with gangster lyrics on top of it. You feel me? So,
right.
I mean, for us to bounce, we didn't think that bounce would ever be as far as it is, man.
Yeah.
Man, so
and going back to those early '90 Cash Money days when you guys first signed on, what a lot of people don't realize is that they had a totally different style. It would sound like more like West Coast production, and you guys came in and you incorporated that. You brought that bounce flavor back. Because it seemed like the Cash Money before you guys got on was trying to find their way.
Right. That Kilo G album, The Sleepwalker. Yeah, they was right. Kilo was really before his time. But New Orleans wasn't accepting that at the time. They wasn't accepting that rap like that, bro. With the dark music and shit. They wanted something that was going to make a move. And that's what we gave them.
And how was you guys able to mesh together? Like, Baby had he had some real bout it dudes in the circle around with you guys too. Like, how you guys get that chemistry to just flow together?
Oh man, we created Black Connection 226, and what that was our union, man. That was our circle. You had U.N.L.V, you had Kilo G, you had Pimp Daddy, you had BG, you had Miss T, you had Mr. Ivan. Lil Wayne was coming off the bench. You had PMW, Big Heavy. That was our union. That was our circle. So we felt like, by us starting 226 Black Connection, we told them it meant that if your album coming out, I'm gonna support you like it's my album. It was all about support. It was a support system. You feel me? So that's how we brought it to the tables, and that's how everybody that was sick was riding.
That's what it is. So, in terms of when you were rapping, y'all so it's about the mix of all of you, actually. So obviously we're going into the part now where, you begin to make a little bit of noise in the area, everybody's coming together. So when did you realize that just maybe this was something that you might be able to actually, really get some money off of in terms of getting paid? When was that moment I can get money off that?
Oh man, our second album, we were seeing enough money to be like, man, I ain't gonna hustle, I ain't gonna work, I'm good. That was our second album, and that came out in '94. And I thank God I haven't worked since '95, bro. Because I chilled out in '94 for a minute, went through what I went through or whatever, and fell off and got a little job. Once I realized again, man, look, this ain't what I put on this earth to do. You know what I'm saying? The Lord give me enough to survive. And I thank Him for it, to enjoy what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I haven't had a real job since '95, bro.
Man, but that's I mean, but that's something where a lot of times, you know, and you hear a lot of stories about a lot of artists in terms of whether independent or major, you know, when they're, you know, when who actually get a lot of success from that. And you know, people don't understand is that how those royalties work. If you have those contracts worked in your favor, that it can keep you taken care of for a long, long time. From what I did some research, and they said, and what I found was when you were all signed to Cash Money, that y'all were moving about 100,000 units like yearly, you know, for the time that y'all were on there. You know, you know, but it's but yeah, but I mean, go ahead.
Uptown for Life alone sold 285,000 copies independent before they got the deal. That's how Cash Money got the deal with Universal. The first deal that they had, I think it was a 30 million or 60 million, something like that. But it was off our
distribution deal that they hit.
Right.
Yeah, that was in 1998. Yeah, 1998.
That was off our numbers alone. I mean, don't get me wrong. The team was selling units like BG, Lil Slim, Miss T. They were selling units, but I mean, our units was just unheard of. We was 86 on Billboard, bro. You know,
wow.
You know, we was number 86 on Billboard, still local. So as of today, the album is platinum. I'm about to release the album again on a digital era, you know, on a digital outlets right now. It's either going to be Christmas or New Year's Day. You will receive Uptown for Life on a digital outlet.
Oh, wow.
I'm about to release that.
Man. Can you imagine how sonically mastered it's going to sound when you put it in some of these new whips?
Uh-huh.
It's going to blow the roof off the speakers.
Now, so now we talk. So now you're actually signed to the label. You know, so you're on Cash Money. Talk about your time being on. Talk about you all's time on Cash Money in terms of just what that whole experience was like.
Oh man, it was a beautiful time. It was beautiful. I mean, a good learning experience. You know, we had our good times, we had our bad times, but we did have more good times than bad. Our good outweighed the bad, to be honest. You know what I mean? But once we found out things wasn't right, and then it was like they wasn't man enough to admit that they didn't know that things wasn't right. You know, it wasn't like they was just straight jacking us or nothing like that. You know, the world got the wrong story or whatever, you feel me? It wasn't like that. They didn't know half of the shit that they were supposed to know. You dig? So that's where our little conflict came in. And once, you know, we was peeping it out, we were like, hold on, bro, we supposed to be getting a little more than this. You dig? And you know, went to them and they was like, they couldn't not prove us wrong. It couldn't prove us right. You dig? So we was like, all right, dog. So it's time for us to do us. You know what I'm saying? We felt like we learned enough to be on our own. That's what we wanted. You know, anyway. You dig? We want our own album, our own record label. That was our goal. And they knew that was our goal, so they really prepared us for our goal. You know what I'm saying? In a good way. Really.
Right.
And it looks like you guys, you took it as when you were signing the Cash Money that it was like going through the 4 years of college or high school and just soaking up that game so when you graduate you can go on to the next level.
Right. That's the best way to describe it, bro. Yep.
Yeah, man. You know, and it's funny you say that because you know what we do here on this show is we're always about keeping our journalistic integrity by the way of speaking on the real facts of the situation. You know, obviously we don't have ears to what goes on at Cash Money, but all we know is just what we have heard. And when we get the opportunity to talk to artists such as yourself, because we've known this for years that there have been issues with Birdman in terms of the business ethics of what has happened to Cash Money in reference to U.N.L.V, what's happened to Wayne, the most recent, what happened with BG, what happened with Turk, you know, and about the whole issues, you know, and I mean, this is just about the artists that everybody knows about. We're not even talking about artists like Official, who was supposed to be the R&B group that was supposed to come out on there, but we've all heard the same thing over and over again, that there have been issues in terms of how business has been done, in terms of people not getting their money and such.
Right.
And
he's known to be a bad businessman. Fuck. Just put it like that. He's known to be a bad businessman.
Right.
Really.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's his reputation. So I mean, you can't put it no other way. That's what he's known for.
Right.
But we didn't, and not justifying for him. Don't get it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like all these people saying something, all these people saying the same thing. He can't be right. You dig? But
right.
On our behalf, dog, it was more like we was learning the game together. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't really know what was going on the shit that we lost. I mean, we got ours in court, and we ended up owning everything that we ever put out under cash money. Everything is ours, So it's cool with us. I mean, but during that time in court, we really learned that they didn't know what they was doing. So it was cool because you know what I'm saying. It ain't no hard feelings at all right now, bro.
It's kind of like you guys were instrumental in inking that, and him getting that historic $30 million distribution deal, and I think that's where the riff kind of changed with Cash Money, because they was going a new direction, and it was like, okay, we helped you put this work in. We need more cut now. You got $30 million on the table.
Exactly. Yep, that's how we stepped to him, dog. You dig? But he felt like, all right, if I get him these gifts, like I said, he already knew our goal was to start our own album label, our record label. Mm-hmm. So he felt like if I do this, them boys gonna do this. So I can't do that. So we had an option to roll with it or go ahead. It was time for our contract was up. You know what I'm saying? So he decided not to, give us what we asked for. So we decided not to sign papers, even though that the $30 million was there, and we knew what time it was. We still felt like, look, if we get the right shot, ain't no stopping us. We built this. We built this, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what you
like
said
a whole
about
ordeal.
Oh, go ahead.
It looked like a whole ordeal where you guys. A lot of people will probably say that you guys was like, y'all should have signed on when they blew up and everything, but sometimes it's not really about looking like you a star. It's about making sure your paperwork and royalties are right.
Yep. For real.
Yeah. Man. Now, in the terms of, and I think, and what you said is just so, it's just something that a lot of artists, because to hear you talk about this, how, because there are two words people, don't like: courtroom, or one word, courtroom, and then litigation. But obviously there was a situation where y'all knew that it, now, and this is something for our listeners out there, about what goes on in terms of the game. Tell us about, in terms of the legal aspects, in terms of signing a contract with a label, what are the things that you need to know? Because you guys went to court and actually won and got your record, which is a rarity in the game, because not many artists can say that they own themselves. Like Jay-Z, he owns himself. So tell us about that situation in terms of how contracts, what artists should be looking for in terms of negotiations, in terms of how to read the fine print, knowing what they're signing.
Right. Well, first of all, you need to know how many years you're signing for, how many albums you're signing for. What are the company options? What are your options? You need to understand about your publishing. Definitely you need to understand about your publishing and the masters. Find out because some contracts, you can really own your shit and just be doing a record because you on a contract to do a record. You know what I'm saying? You really might be the owner, the sole owner of that record. But if you don't know what your contract's stating, you dig, you might get jabbed. You know, you try. What else is? I mean, you need to know that everything is negotiable. You know, you can negotiate any and everything. You should know that you have a right to your own manager that don't work for the company, for the record label. You know, that was our biggest fall right there. You dig? And that's what a lot of people said that Baby was wrong from the start, because actually he was everybody's manager from the everybody that was on the roster. Baby managed from 1992 to like 98, I guess. You know
wow.
what I'm saying? And that's a manager in a record label.
Yeah, that's a conflict of interest. That's a conflict of interest. That's exactly. A conflict of interest.
Yep. Because your manager's supposed to back for you at all times. The record label,
right.
You know, they're going to do their thing for themselves. But you have your manager to back for you, man. So those are the most important things, and definitely the fine print. Because that'll throw everything off right there. That'll throw your whole
cold
contract
hustling
off.
right there.
Fine print. Oh, yeah.
It's like he tried to get rap money as a solo artist. Then he tried to get the big timers money. Then he tried to get the CEO money. Now he's trying to get the manager money. Damn.
Right. Dang, bro. Yep.
Man,
that's cold-blooded.
That's crazy. But I mean, when you look at it in terms of the business, and it's not just relegated to Verb, man. You know, in terms of who had questionable, issues in terms of how managing. There are other, we've heard stories about so many other artists in terms of Puffy and a lot of other people whom, in terms of how they have done business at their labels, that they have not always necessarily been the most honest in their dealings. Once again, this is not us just flying off the handle, just talking reckless. We always pride ourselves on, doing our research and then going off of real stories that have been spoken by artists. But what you said resonates, man, because a lot of artists want, what you said about, knowing what you sign and everything. A lot of these artists, when they get on, their whole deal is they're just thinking about, I got a contract. I'm just trying, I'm just happy to be on. But they don't look at it from the aspect of it's really, and it's not just black slavery, it's white slavery, because you had a lot of white artists that got into a bad situation in contracts. You look at what happened with Cachet when she was with Dr. Luke under Kemosabe Records and all that drama that went down, and how she couldn't, they wouldn't let her off the label. You know what I'm saying? Even with all the stuff that allegedly happened. So look, that information right there alone is priceless.
It's vital.
That's what the game do. Yes. So okay,
very
so now
vital.
Go ahead, King.
Oh, go ahead. You was leading it up. Let me go ahead and drink this water right quick, and I can shoot the next question. Go right ahead.
Yeah. So now we've talked about your upbringings, the beginning of your rap career, you actually getting signed, y'all leave. So, and then of course getting master. So what comes next during that period after you all have left and have gone out on your own in terms of going on your own? So tell us about that time.
Well, when we went out on our own, we had kind of fell because Tech went to prison. Tech had to do like a year and a half bid. So that had me in the position that I'm in right now, doing solo, doing a solo album, keeping our U.N.L.V name alive at the same time. So that which didn't let I wasn't able to start the record label on my own. I had to wait till he come home and start the record label, but I did put the album together. You know what I'm saying? So once he came back home, then we immediately got back on it. I put my album out, but we immediately started working on the U.N.L.V album. So we was like doing real good. We had we put a album out called Trendsetters, Return to U.N.L.V. Under the name of the record label was Blazing South. We formed it with my uncle and one of my uncle friends. So we done like I think we done like 20,000 independent on that, real easy. Dog.
Oh wow!
What happened was our West distribution closed down right when the album got heated up. We were doing those type of numbers, but the album wasn't to its peak yet. So once we lost our distribution through them, it was kind of hard to get, who get selector hits to do what they was doing. You did. So we survived it. What ended up happening when my uncle partner went to jail, and that enabled us to do what we wanted to do with that. So we left that label alone, closed it down, and me and Tech started another label called Be Real Entertainment with my cousin. That's when you got that and Keep It Gunner and Gunner for Life album. With the Go DJ on it. They had Go DJ. Also, that song with BG, the Dragon Part 2, when we were talking about Cash Money. They had the I forgot. Booty Bop was on the Trendsetter album too. So every album we had some hits on it that had us swimming. Even though we was like really, we always were CEOs of the label, but it wasn't like our labels were stable. You feel me?
Right.
It was able to grow like they should have. But we good.
And that's the biggest thing running a label a lot of times, because people have to understand, because entrepreneurship is a sexy thing, no two ways about it, to say that you're in business for yourself. But a lot of people don't understand the level of responsibility, dedication, and, all of that goes into running a label in terms of, and me and King joke about this all the time, off the air, about how, you're responsible for everything. Like, you got to secure the studio time. You got to make sure the artists show up for the, for their sessions. If they get in trouble, you got to make sure the lawyer's there. Everything. It's a lot of work.
Right. Definitely, dog. Definitely. Yeah.
So pretty much around this time, as you see the music, kind of really beginning to gain traction down south, what was pretty much during that time as you were moving forward with your label, the vision that y'all had in terms of the sound? You said the label, the distribution y'all were not with was not which y'all with were not stable. So just what was it like, just trying to pretty much, as y'all seen everything come up, just trying to make sure that everything was, in order going along with it? What was it like to see the country and then the world embracing the sound that y'all came up with?
Oh man, it was like a whole other world, bro. Man, we really started seeing that point in like 2000. We started seeing different parts of the world, because Baby wouldn't let us travel outside Houston. Houston would be the point we'd have a show.
Oh wow!
And we ended up having shows with them boys out of town in Cincinnati and Dayton, Ohio, and all different type of places. That shit is amazing, bro. Yeah, man. Yo. So we saw that, we were like, damn, we starting something new, man. You did.
And
seeing different parts of the world does that.
Yeah. And it's funny because
they receive it like it's a fresh breath of air or something, man. They look at you different, man. They own your music in a different way. You dig?
Definitely. And, there's no greater feeling than knowing that from that perspective, that, because a lot of times, a lot of people, because a lot of people don't know this, with Elvis in terms of what he did in terms of music. And I'm saying this on Off the Cuff Radio now, so everybody knows it. Let's get it straight. Elvis was not a racist. It is okay to like Elvis.
Nah,
Elvis was not a racist.
Man.
You know, and I say that because this is a lead into what I was about to say, because a lot of people had it mistaken about Elvis, but he was not a racist, you know. But this is also how, when you are in the business, because, you know, he had the Colonel, you know, controlling managing his career. And for all that Elvis did, Elvis never traveled the world. Elvis never did a show outside of the United States ever. You know, and a lot of people are blown away when they find that out. You know, and the thing is, that's how the Colonel kept control over Elvis, because his thing was, you know, as long as Elvis didn't know how big he was, you know, the whole thing was Elvis always felt like he needed somebody to guide his career, when in reality, when you see that you've made enough cachet that you can do it on your own, you know, you've established yourself, you don't need nobody who's not sharing your vision of a panoramic, you know, possibility in terms of going all over. You know, and that's something that I think a lot of artists definitely got to understand, you know. But before there is any type of explosion in terms of what you're doing in the game, I think a lot of people have to understand as well that it's about connecting with your audience and having a sound that is authentic to your roots. And from there, that is how you are able to really, really, really make your impact. For what you guys did, it was absolutely awesome, because not only did you make an impact in your area, it was beyond your area. I mean, you know, it opened up a whole nother world for y'all.
Yep.
I mean, but in terms of in terms of where there is, you know, but in terms of what now. I guess also too, my next question is doing the label of the time, because for those who don't know, and for those who know and those who may not know, there were obviously, you know, the group definitely was real. Some would say by the history of it a bit too real, on some of the situations that happened with some of the group members. How did that pretty much kind of, you know, as y'all were really trying to go along, what was how did y'all manage to just keep going even with all the issues that happened, you know, with Yellow Boy and all them?
Man, it's the best way I can put it, bro. We always said, once we start this shit, we ain't gonna never let the name U.N.L.V die, straight up. And it's funny because we used to always say, man, if you die, me and him gonna do this, me and him gonna do that. If you die, you know, we used to always say shit like that, bro. And it was like, you know, that's how it happened. And right now today, me and Tech say this, man. Look, if you go, I'm doing you. You know, and that's it. We just kept it like that, bro.
And Yellow was one of the coldest to do it. And this brings on to my question here, and this is how I opened up the show in a funny twist with Drag 'Em in the River, the record that put you guys on another level. And it remains as possibly one of not only the hardest disc records, but also the hardest records in hip-hop, period. And being that we live in an era now where, you know, there's a lot of chatty-patty going on and everything, we want to hear the root of how this situation happened with Mystikal, and how do y'all come to the truth after.
Man, everybody thought that it was like some real beef shit with us, dog. And over the years, we never let the cat out the bag. You feel me? But I mean, Mystikal is our dude, bro. We went to high school with the dude. You know, I went to middle school with him. But we all known for always like trolling each other. Every time we see him, we ribbing his ass. We tearing him up. He trying to tear us up. You know what I'm saying? And one day I was on the corner, and Mystikal came. He had just got out the service. He was like 2 years over us. When we was juniors, when we was sophomores, he was a senior. And he came to me on the block and asked me about, you know, war rapping. And we were like, cool, how's your business? So we ain't pay that shit no attention, because the first album ain't make no noise that he did. It was that Yeah, our Go shit, you dig? That came out, but it wasn't as hot as the other one that came out. So we paid that a little attention, and we struck at him. We put Boom Get Chopped and Dragon from the River on one album. And killed them, you dig? Yep. But that's our dude, man.
He said he liked the record.
Yeah, man.
Huh?
I mean, but that was something right there. You know, we're live and direct on Off the Cuff Radio. Call number is 1-619-924-0703. It's King Eric the Ruler, myself. We have Lil Ya of the legendary N.O. New Orleans crew. Now you know if you didn't know, U.N.L.V. So now the issue with the thing with Mystikal. Now when y'all did that song with Mystikal, what year was that? Because I remember seeing Mystikal back in 1994 on Rap City when he had that song "Y'all Ain't Ready Yet," you know, and that was off his very first album. You know, that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, that was the first one. But the other one really made us pay attention. Yeah, I go. I think what did I go? It was one of them, bro. But you're right. That album came out. Uptown for Life came out in '95.
Right. Yeah, because that was something that, like I said, because that was really out here. You know, that was my first, introduction to Mystikal in terms of when he actually did it. Because actually his first record was called Mystikal. And then the second album was The Mind of Mystikal, that you could kind of say was a reworking of the album the previous year. And that was, of course, that was released the same year that y'all, came out. So, of course, that was just leading into the whole, because we didn't know even back then in 1995 what was going to happen in terms of it. Rap City, rest in peace, was one of the greatest shows in terms of showcasing talent from all over.
Right.
So that was something that really, really, really enabled us across the board outside of where, outside of where we live, where we went, nationwide.
Right.
We didn't know 3 years later that ultimately that New Orleans would blow up the way that it did, and to a degree it's still doing it to this day. This was before Soulja Slim. This would be before Cash Money really made its name. And this is before Currency, ended up, going out on his own, but yeah, man. So in terms of, so I know this is going to be a dumbass question. In terms of the videos, pretty much the videos, did y'all, during that time, how easy was it to shoot the videos during that time that y'all were coming up with it, or was it kind of was it one of those things where it was just trying to get all the resources together to do what you could, getting it out there?
Well, it wasn't hard. They just didn't have the outlet to once Baby and them, I think they wanted to go further than Fat and all that with videos.
Right.
Because it wasn't hard to shoot. We actually shot like four videos with them. They have them. We don't have that shit.
Oh, man.
They got lost in the flood or whatever.
Oh, wow.
So we got a video for Uptown for Life, Magmel Calio, Six of Morale, and something else. I think one of the Tech songs, straight from the rap. Yep.
Man, that's crazy, but at least it's, thank God. Okay, so all right. That's always, and I think that's something too that a lot of artists have to understand in terms of the visuals when you are shooting, when you're actually out there shooting, is to have a guy that really, really, when I look at videos from y'all era, what was done, it's something that is, to me, shooting a video is an art form. It should have a concept, and it should actually connect in terms of being what the song is about. And
exactly.
And you should always have a good videographer who understands the vision and the concept of what he's filming. Obviously, you're an OG in the game, and with the advent of technology in hip-hop in terms of YouTube, Twitter, MySpace, Facebook, everything, Instagram, What have you seen being a seasoned veteran and understanding the business and how it really works, as opposed to seeing what some of these youngsters are doing out here thinking they know how it works?
Well, I would say
take your time. Take your time.
Damn, man. I would tell them to learn the business first before you go just jump in the business and think you know the business. You know, learn it before you even pick up a pad and instrument and learn how to play. Learn the business first. You know, because it is definitely what you think it is. I mean, you see, just because you see everybody shining and shit like that, don't think they got money. You know, first of all, the record label wants you to represent them looking like you got it, because money brings money. You know, so 9 times out of 10, they ain't gonna let you go looking like you don't have money. But when it comes down to your possessions, what do you own? You know, it's a different story. So I would say learn the business first, man. It ain't what you think it is.
And to switch gears for a minute, I know you're proud of your home team. They're out there, they're kicking ass. The Saints are, you know, beating everybody down. I know it feels good to make a song celebrating who that like.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I want to say a big shout out to my homie Derek Deep. He produced the record. My homie Archie Soul on the third verse, running that shit. And we just living the who that like. Ballers out of control, having fun on the record, man.
Now, you said they going to take the chip this year?
Huh?
Now, you think they going to take the chip this year?
I think they are. Really?
Y'all looking strong right now. I mean,
I think they are, man.
Y'all looking strong, man. I mean, and you know, with the history of New Orleans Saints, going back to the days with Archie Manning and all those guys, and of course going into the 80s with guys, you know, of course, like Sam Mills, rest in peace, you had Bobby Hebert, you know, all of those teams that were, you know, during the time in the 80s and early 90s that were good, you know, but they could never quite get over the top. How gratifying was it when y'all finally won the Super Bowl, when y'all finally won?
It was crazy, bro. That was an experience you can't even speak on. Words can't even explain that feeling, bro. Because like you said, we were so close to getting over the hump for years. You know, we had the right player. We just couldn't gel together and go where we needed to go. So we finally went there and won. Oh, man.
Yeah, because, I mean, yeah, because that was in 2010 that y'all won, you know, and that was something, you know, this was, you know, 5 years after Katrina, you know, and I think a lot of people really don't know how big that was for the city, considering what y'all had endured with Katrina.
Right.
You know, what was that now? And I know that's a very near and dear subject that's sensitive to your heart about it. What was that? How did y'all manage to keep going even with that situation, you know, during that time?
Man, Katrina just messed everybody up, bro.
I can imagine.
And during that time, we was like really doing our thing. We had majors calling us daily. Me and Tech was going to Delgado. It's a college. We both was going there for a business class. And it was like our work ethic was off the chain, bro. We would go to school on Monday and Wednesday. No, Tuesdays and Thursdays, my bad. Tuesdays and Thursdays, and every day that we not in school, we grinded. We like in hitting a different part of Louisiana, Mississippi, Atlanta, whatever you did. We just going with a shitload of CDs. Doing it the old school way again. Popping the trunk, meeting cats that want to do a show, getting features. And it just so happened our music went to playing on a lot of different radio stations. Man, was calling us. That's when we had that song with Lil Boosie called That Eye. I don't know if y'all had that yet. We had a song with Lil Boosie called That Eye. It was on the Gutter for Life album. We had Juvie on the album. We had BG on the album. We had Boosie. Man, the bitch was nice, dog. The album was real nice, bro.
Man, that's crazy. Now, what was it like seeing? Yeah, this is before Boosie.
Everything up, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Man, now, but we definitely, we know that was definitely a time, to really see. But the way y'all rebounded, and I mean to put Boosie on, because this is before Boosie really really got out there like that.
Right. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, so this is like, yeah. So what was it like? What was it like seeing this newcomer from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, coming into the game? And really,
we always fuck with Boosie. Boosie was real young running with CeeLo. We met CeeLo through Baby doing a lot of concerts with CeeLo and shit. So when CeeLo got a little older, he got his little company and he put Boosie, had Boosie just doing the dude opening shows for, he just opening shows every time we got a show with CeeLo. The daddy just opening shows, so we got to know Boosie.
Right.
So we were fucking with him the whole while. He laid down. We were supposed to do the video, but we went out there to break bread with him and, take care of the video and shit. The nigga was gone and, oh, man, it was just like, damn, dog. So we left it alone, bro. But that's our nigga. We fuck with him. Heavy.
Now, CeeLo, he was part of the concentration camp crew with U.N.L.V, wasn't he?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I didn't know that Boosie was part of that camp as well, in terms of rolling with them. Wow. See, King, we get all types of history on this show.
You ain't lying. I didn't even know that.
So, in terms of where Boosie was back then, because this is going back to 2005, 2006 era, and this is 2018 going into 2019 now. Did y'all see Boosie really becoming the star he is today? Did y'all know it then, or did y'all just was like, this little nigga just wild as hell?
We knew it then. It was just sleeping on it. And nobody wasn't really sleeping on it but New Orleans, really, because Boosie was making his money on the road matter of fact, he was staying in the Carolinas. He stayed in the Carolinas. Wow. He was in Mississippi heavy, and he was in Louisiana heavy. In some parts,
that's why Boosie. That's why Boosie always comes out here. He loves the Carolinas.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But man, Boosie was staying in the Carolinas making paper. Yep. Especially when they had CIAA or Homecoming. Oh, Boosie, he gonna get the bag up here for sure. We just saw, we saw swinging through. Just like we saw it in Lil Wayne, we knew that little boy was gonna be a superstar, man. We knew that shit. We used to tell B that all the time. We'll be in the car riding somewhere, going to do a show, and Lil Wayne will just call it, ask Baby to let us hear one of his verses he had just wrote to tell him how it sounds. Man, that little dude been raw with it. So Boosie was on that level, bro. Boosie was nice, man. We been saw it.
Well, that's one thing about Boosie because when I was, when you hear that song, Exciting, when Boosie, does the intro ad-libs, he's talking about, his mama said, get up on your motherfucking shit. A lot of people don't understand that Boosie has, been making money on the road for a lot of years in terms of, he was maybe 16, even 15, 16, 17 years old, he was doing shows and getting real money doing shows. So Boosie has had his success for a long, long time in terms of doing what he's been doing out there. But is there a possibility down the line that y'all may be able to do a collaboration in terms of some future projects with him?
Hell yeah, man. We haven't reached out to each other just yet, but when the time is right, it's gonna happen.
Definitely. Now
I'm taking a question here, and I don't want you guys to bust out laughing about this guy's name, but fuck.
Okay.
This question goes by the guy that go by the name of Jimmy Crack Corn.
Okay, Jimmy Crack Corn.
Anyway, Jimmy Crack Corn. Okay, this is Jimmy Crack Corn. He wants to know, like, were there any issues with Master P when he came out with I'm Bout It? Because you guys came out with the I'm Bout It song.
Yeah, we had I'm Bout It. Right. Well, it wasn't no issue. But we did know what happened with that shit. You know, P just had. I put it to you like this: it's the same issue that we had with Baby, and it wasn't no issue, but we understand his strategy. What Baby did with Lil Wayne go DJ was the same thing P did with I'm Bout It. We put the song out first. He came back behind it and put a song out called I'm Bout It because he had more money or whatever to make more noise with the song. You feel me?
Right.
And that's the same thing Baby done with DJ. You know? They put that song out after us because they knew the effect that they just the slogan. And because their chorus wasn't, their chorus was like ours, but it wasn't a song dedicated to the DJ. Our song was strictly for the DJ. You know?
And that song would have definitely would have popped off too because, now was I'm Bout It on the same album as Drag 'Em Through the River? Trying to get my memory together.
I'm Bout It was on
okay.
No Failure album.
Gotcha.
But the funny thing about it is when you say that, it shows how a lot of artists, influence each other. Unfortunately, we have seen some situation with artists where there was a lot of funk that came up because somebody said basically that they outright copied, if not straight stole the song. And this is a testament to there can always be, people looking about how did this happen. But one thing about it is that I've never, throughout this interview we've had so far, we've never heard anything in terms of guns being pulled out on nobody or like fuck this crew, that nigga stole my shit, and we've seen too many times with other artists in other places that when they perceived that there was some type of slight in terms of the heisting of intellectual property, that there were some issues and they were gonna handle those issues.
Right.
But it's really great to see that you all were men about it, and y'all didn't let that situation really, really, really affect the dealings y'all had.
Right.
In terms of where you see the New Orleans sound right now, in reference to who do you feel like is still carrying on tradition, or do you think it's time for a bit of a resurgence to bring it back to where it once was?
Well, excuse me. In my opinion, that was holding it down back then. If they still doing anything, they doing anything. See that? You know what I'm saying? Cause
right.
Ain't too many changes. So if you were liking them back then, you're liking them now. But you got a lot of artists that's not doing it. They doing something else. They left rap alone. A lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I see the ones that's still doing it from back then. They holding it down. They might not be hooked up with the right label or might not have the right people to put them out or whatever. But when you hear their shit, they on point with it. You feel me?
Right.
And
well,
you feel
I think
that Manny Fresh doesn't really get his proper due?
Man, Fresh get his due, man. He get his due, bro. I believe he do. I don't think they I don't think they lacking on giving him his props, bro.
Well, it's one thing about Manny, because he definitely was and still is, one of the most original producers. I mean, when you look at, when we look at what he did for all those years with Cash Money from 1990, roughly from 1990 to 2006 when he ended up leaving, he did every track.
Every
That's 16
track.
Every
years.
damn track.
That's
Yep.
16 years worth of beats. That's just the albums we know, and you figure that's roughly that now between y'all albums and Wayne, Turk, Juvie, Big Timers. So you figure 16 years, roughly about 30 to 40 to 50 albums during that time. At the minimum, 10 songs. That's 500 songs.
Hmm.
That's not even counting
Plus
all the
demos.
stuff that's left on the cutting room floor. Yeah, demos and then cutting room floor material. You know, the stuff that doesn't make the record. That's roughly looking around 3,000 to 4,000 songs, easy.
Yep.
Man.
Now, don't, I mean, he get credit for everything that he do, and it all be his idea, but he don't actually play all the instruments. But every beat that you hear, you hear, he is him. He gonna do his own drum. He might have a bass guitars and tell him what he wanted to play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He might have someone on keyboard, and they play it on keyboard. Yeah, man, I'm getting shrimps again. I'm taking care of it, bro. I'm holler at you. Yeah, man. So,
Lil.
Yeah, man.
Lil
Man, bro. Yep.
Yeah, man, but I mean, but it was crazy to hear about it because I have the Scratch magazine from 2006, you know, where Manny talks about that situation with Birdman in terms of what was going on as to why he left, because I think that's when people really knew there was something that was not correct, because I said earlier, when you get into the music game, in terms of when you're getting serious, a videographer is one thing. There are two other elements. You need a good lawyer and a great producer.
Oh yeah.
You know, and Manny was the sonic glue that held the whole project together in terms of what y'all were doing at the time. So when Manny left, I was like, when I read that article, I was like, okay, something's going on, and Manny decides to leave. You know, and you know, he talked about that situation.
And that's the heart and soul of Cash Money. Something wrong with that program.
Yeah, but I mean, what's your relations with Manny like these days? Do y'all get to talk on a regular or what?
I love that boy, man. We both live in Houston now. I still stay in New Orleans and Houston. But when I do see him, he on his way out. I usually see him at the airport or something, man, all the time.
Man,
we have plans on putting some U.N.L.V shit together. We just gotta get the time and hook it up.
Man, if y'all look, when y'all get that album together, I'm not gonna say if. I know it's a matter of when y'all get it. I mean, you know, number one, we want the exclusive first. Secondly, we would love to have you. Secondly, we would love, if possible, to have you and him on the show just to talk about, you know, just the history and everything. If you know, but just to have that, you know, this is something I think that years later, because a lot of people really need to know the history of really y'all being one of the original members of Cash Money, and to bring it full circle with you and Manny, you know, and you know, that would really, really, I think, be that's like a masterpiece in itself for the historical context.
Yeah. I feel you, bro. Well.
For sure. Now, for 2019, do you have any new projects that's coming out that we should be looking forward to?
Yeah, my project is coming out. I haven't named it yet, but I'm working on it. I have Dope Man was the first single of my project. And I've been working that for like 3 months. Now I have Another Bitch, Part 2. If y'all remember, Another Bitch was our very first song. So what I did was I took my verse off there and I rapped it in a different voice, you know, like I'm an older voice now. And you can hear the difference, and it really sounds like a new song, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it got a new track and shit like that. But the way my voice putting it is like a new song. All right, my lad.
And this project here is gonna be that. It's gonna be that gutter music that we know to expect.
Oh yeah. Yep. You might get a track from Fresh on there.
Oh what, man. Look, King, I don't know the world ready for that, man.
I'm working with this cat called Derek D. I'm working on this cat called Derek D, and also my homie General T. And they're a group, they're a production crew called a Prime Time DJ. So I mean, you're gonna get some flavor shit, some soul type shit, man. Believe that. With the bounce in it, you know? Y'all heard we done that who that life, huh? Y'all hear that bounce in there? That's the type of shit they like in New Orleans, you know. They really want that in New Orleans. That's our culture.
Well, one thing about it in terms of the music is that it's just a hot mix of gumbo. You know, all the ingredients that I think represents the culture of where y'all are at. You know, one thing about it, you know, when we listen to artists, you know, such as yourself, U.N.L.V, you know, everybody, we always get a sense of just a down home, you know, goodness of real, hip hop. You know, it's something that I think for what you guys have contributed to the culture is something that can't be duplicated. Because one thing I can say about it is that y'all have y'all own style. That I tell anybody, if you're not from the N.O., you just don't know, you know, how to do it. You know, only the N.O., only the people from the NOLA know how to bring that cola.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real, bro. That's real. That's real, man.
Is there any artist that in the radar that you always wanted to work with but never got a chance to?
Yeah, Outkast. I always wanted to work with Outkast. Never got a chance to. I worked with a couple of dudes out of the Dungeon family, but not Outkast. That's Michael Jackson, you know. I always had dreams of doing something with Mike. Shit.
Who doesn't?
Right.
Man, that was a loss, man. Mike was just a legend. I mean, you know, and the thing is, we saw
get down with anybody, man. Whatever.
I mean, but that was just, I mean.
That Mike was a loss, man. You know what I mean? Even I see niggas in the hood was even crying. That's how much of a loss that was.
Man, Mike, real, dog.
Well, I mean, definitely. But Mike always had love for hip-hop and whatnot. And, you know, going back to Heavy D back in 92 when he did Jam and everything, and of course, I mean, but Mike, you know, just, you know, and it's crazy because when you look at the type of music he did being the king of pop, you know, Mike's music still managed to transcend into hip-hop in terms of styles. You know, to have an artist such as yourself say that you would have loved to work with Mike, you know, that would have been something. That would have been something special.
Man, Mike, boy.
Now, you know, in terms of the artists who are still with us, how can we get Outkast to come back together again? Because we need to hear that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make that happen. I'm gonna get that. I might have to make that happen.
4 months ago out here at a concert, Big Boy rocked that thing, man. I'm like, man, what's up with Dre, man? And that boy back, man.
Man,
now,
people sleep on Big Boy. Big Boy can go on a solo tip.
Oh yeah, he's nice. Man, nothing like
but in terms, oh no. I mean, and the thing is, when you listen to both of them, it is a situation where, you know, certain artists, they're great. They're good together. They're good separate, but they're great together. And it just means that, you know, it's always meant to be. You know, a lot of people, you know, I actually have an old Double XL that was talking years ago about the situation in terms of their contract issue. Because they had said, this is like 13 years ago, they were talking about it, that in terms of like the music, that they actually had the music written for the album, their next album. They just had to write the lyrics. But there were some, I think it might have been a little bit, I think it might have been 10 years ago now that I think about it. But it was just the issues in terms of trying to, basically working out the contract negotiations in reference to, I think with Andre being a solo artist. But, but that's something where, I think for where the game is right now, and I wanted to ask you that, how do you feel about hip-hop today in terms of the direction of where it's going as opposed to how, y'all came up during y'all time with it? What do you see different for better or for worse?
I think it's getting back on track. At one time, I was like, Lord, what's really going on, man? And a lot of shit wasn't accepted, you dig? So
niggas
a
wearing
lot
dresses
of shit,
and all that?
Yeah, bro. I mean, it was going on, bro. All kind of shit was going on. So I think it got enough real real artists putting it back on track, putting it where it's supposed to be. But at one time I was like, this shit ain't right, man.
Yeah, you was like, I'm about to take a break for rapping.
Yeah, bro. Real, man. Wow.
But I think it's comical to hear that. It's comical to hear because when we look at how everything changes over the years, because we've seen the evolution of the craft, I think a lot of times what may trouble us is we're seeing where a lot of the artists are doing and saying things that are not. It seems to be more about trying to make waves on a, media circus rather than actually putting out music that I think really stands the test. Because I've always been of the mentality that if your music is dope, that stands on its own merit in terms of what you do with it. You don't need a lot of sensationalized ass stunts in order to, get it out there. Your music stands on its own.
Yep.
I'm looking at this situation with Jaquez right now, talking about he's the king of R&B, and I'm like, where?
Trying to get a little,
and I was like, yeah, and I'm like, how do you feel about that when you see a lot of these young artists come in the game and they make statements like that who seemingly try to dismiss the legends that came before them, especially when they don't have a track record to back it up?
He don't mean he's just trying to get some noise behind his little his album release, That's all. He don't mean that shit.
Yeah, niggas trying to get that. They trying to get those clicks.
Get a buzz. Any publicity is better than none, dog. Whether it's good or bad, it's better than none.
I said to myself, y'all about to open up that Pandora's box. Y'all about to open up and see all these old heads come back. Y'all go mess around and bring Aaron Hall back. Y'all gonna bring Charlie Wilson back out this motherfucker.
Oh Lord.
For real.
Don't bring Charlie up here.
Well, that's definitely something where I think a lot of times with artists, you should always go in the game, always believing you're nice. I've always believed that you respect the elders. I know when y'all were in the studio, when y'all first started, I know basically it wasn't about competition in terms of trying to, just one-up everybody else. From what you told us, it was just about, y'all had an opportunity that y'all just really wanted to show, what y'all had. And it wasn't about it was about trying to show out, but it wasn't trying to show up anybody.
Right. It was confidence, but not cocky.
Exactly. Do you think in the game right now that there has become too much of a blurred line between what is actually what's actually confidence and then basically trying to dismiss everybody? Do you think a lot of these younger artists really need to understand the essence of what the culture entails before they actually try to engage in it?
No, I think a lot of what's going on right now, in my opinion, is a lot of these cats just talking about their money, talking about what they got. They ain't really trying to, battle nobody or shit on nobody. What it is, talking about what they got, and it's not making that part of the game. I'm not feeling, because who wants to hear the same shit all day? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can't relate to a damn 2018 Ferrari. They can't relate to a lot of beat no. But I mean, they got it to what they like. They bobbing their head, they like it. You know what I'm saying?
I think it started becoming more focused. Started becoming behind the beat and less on the words.
Right.
There's many records that I heard that I at the club I damn sure will be playing in public. But at the same time, when you toasty and whatnot, it sounds good to you. But the next day, I'll be like, I'm ashamed of it. I ain't never heard of this guy. You ain't seen me in the club mumbling to this shit. You know what I mean? I don't know that.
Right.
Now you know, we probably about to wrap this up for a few, and there's another question I want to shoot. Now, do you see a difference between New Orleans today and the New Orleans when you came up?
Yeah, I see more artists trying to be rappers now. More rappers trying to be artists. Back in the day, you had like a handful, 2 handfuls. That was it. Now in New Orleans, like, everybody want to be a rapper, bro. Literally, like, you go out there, just imagine every time I go to New Orleans, people that know me, I don't even know they rap. Like, man, check this out. I'm talking about everybody want to be a rapper, bro. I'm like, God damn.
You know what's crazy? It's like you can come back, you can come back 5 years later, and all of a sudden you go to the grocery store. Then all of a sudden, the guy that's managing the grocery store, he was like, "Oh man, Lil Ya, I got something I want you to hear. I'm gonna spit something." You like, what? What the fuck?
Man, you like, damn. Yep. That's how it is out there, bro.
Then you go to the gas station, because it was a funny clip I seen a couple months back where these guys were trying to rush on Juvenile when he was pumping gas at the gas station. They tried to show him his shirt.
They were.
And mixtapes. I'm like, that's tacky promotion right there. I don't know if those guys were gonna try to get a picture. But Juve was like, man, what the hell y'all doing? I ain't about to say.
Yeah.
Thirsty promo don't work, y'all. I'm just letting my listeners know. Your artists, you listen to this, thirsty promo do not work. Hand them a business card.
No, it
give
doesn't.
them a handshake.
What would you suggest in terms of artists trying to get their music out there, doing it the right way in terms of promoting their shit and trying to get it to major people in the industry? What is the best way for an artist to do it instead of run up on niggas at the gas station?
Well, today's what I've learned, and I don't know the full game on that yet, is the internet.
Right.
But back in my days, you grind it out, and eventually your CD will end up in the man's hand that it's supposed to be in. You know what I'm saying? You don't actually go up to the man and try to sell him your shit. If any, you know what I'm saying? Nah. You know, if you see the man or you see somebody with him, your best out would to be give the CD to the man that's with him. Don't give it to him because you know what I'm saying, he gonna have that attitude like, not right now, man. Can't this man see me? You know what I'm saying? That's just a star attitude, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm looking at the clip now. It says Juvenile goes off for a rapper. Yeah, he go off for a rapper trying to sell him a mixtape. That's not the business, y'all. And not to mention, there's a high chance that dude's bodyguards stomping your head into the curb. You don't want to risk that.
Right.
Well, you know, the funny thing about it is that in the game of it, I think a lot of people have to understand in terms of hip-hop music that, you know, and this is the problem I have with, you know, I love the technology and the way it's advanced. I have an issue in terms of where it has gone, and because it's a lot of artists have taken that as a substitute for actually being a real way of communication, because you're going to have to hit the ground in terms of getting your CDs in the streets, you know, and a lot of times dudes just leave videos on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram and think that's all it is in reference to getting it out there. And the reality is that's not what it is. You know, you really have to build your buzz, you know, and then, you know, and that's where you have your regional. Too many times we see artists in different regions who basically have not put in the work, but they get mad when nobody really supports them, and then they call it hate. And my thing is, it's not hate at all. The fact is that if your music is not connecting with everybody, then it means that, you know, you either, one, work harder, or two, it may not be for you. But it's not hate if somebody doesn't like something, but it's also about what are you doing to promote your product in a positive way.
Yep. You got to promote it, man. You got to. Yep.
But no, you know, but there's a right way to. But the thing is, people got to understand that when you make music a business, it's a business, and you have to conduct your business, you know, in a fashion that is professional. You know, this is a job, and the presentation is everything.
Exactly.
That's
exactly, dude.
But yeah, man. But
I think
we about to wrap this thing up, though, bro. And we want to definitely appreciate you joining us, man. I mean, it was a minute we was trying to get you on, but you know you're a busy guy. To give us the history of New Orleans and the origins of what made Dragging Through the River a classic, along with giving us the inside of the hustle. Man, this was a very commendable and honorable show.
I appreciate you having me, bro.
We appreciate you being on.
It was all gravy, dog. For real.
Yeah, we definitely gonna keep in touch though, bro, because
no doubt.
We got a lot of special work in the works for this here.
For sure. Put it down, man, and holler at me, bro. Let's eat.
And we're gonna make sure nobody run up on. We're gonna make sure nobody run up on you in the gas station either, bro.
Say that then. All right, man. Y'all boys be good, bro.
Definitely. Thank you, y'all. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, man. You're definitely welcome, dog. Later.
Definitely.
Yeah, we definitely go ahead. I'm gonna see you to replay this weekend too, bro.
All right. See y'all later.
That was fun. All right. Thank you. Take care.
All right, bro. Yeah, y'all, that was Lil Yah from U.N.L.V. chopping it up with the team. We're going to have the replay of this show up this